Cheese. This delicious food item is used all over the world, from paneer in India to cottage cheese in Egypt to Parmesan in Italy. Cheese is something the whole world shares in unison, but where does it come from? To answer this, we must look back to the very beginning of our universe, the Big Bang. About 13.8 billion years ago, a giant explosion sent atoms flying in every direction, creating our universe, a universe where one day us humans on Earth would invent cheese. Of course, that day was not then, as the universe was still just a super hot soup of hydrogen and helium atoms. Fast forward 200 million years. The universe is now very dark and very cold. Then, something happened. First, galaxies and nebulae formed from clumps of gas. Gravity brought things closer and closer together until the first star was born. The stars were more complex and stable than anything seen before. The universe was starting to take shape. These stars would be the forges for a new complexity of elements. Instead of just hydrogen and helium, the universe now started to get populated with new elements. These elements would be the building blocks for everything we know today. Some of the new elements, such as carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur, would end up making casein, the protein that is the chief ingredient in cheese. Of course, we are still billions of years away from the creation of cheese. We still need Earth and our solar system. Every object in our solar system started as clumps of matter orbiting the Sun, a star somewhere in the Milky Way galaxy. The matter would eventually group together into planets such as Earth. Early Earth was a violent place, the surface was all magma. But once the planet cooled down, it became apparent how perfect it was, at just the right distance from the Sun, so it was not too hot nor too cold. The right composition to fuel various processes like the water cycle and the rock cycle. This was the amazing place that led to the start of life. Early life was simple and microscopic, but it would eventually evolve into complex organisms like sheep, cows, and goats, which would give us milk. Their milk would end up becoming the first cheeses. Eventually, humans evolved. Humans, unlike any species before them, had collective learning, a way for the species to grow in complexity faster than ever before. Collective learning ended up being why cheese was invented, as humans built off of previous humans' discoveries, leading eventually to cheese. Still, we haven't quite reached cheese yet. The problem is, where does the cheese come from? The answer? Agriculture. When early humans started farming, a world of possibilities opened. With the new ability to collect considerable amounts of food by tending to a farm, humans were able to settle in an area. Settlements turned into villages, villages turned into towns, towns turned into cities, and cities turned into empires. But the most important change for our purposes is milk began to be made from domesticated mammals. However, famines and other disasters starved people. To solve this, civilizations figured out ways to preserve foods to store for disasters. Someone found out that when milk was left out for a while in the sun, it would coagulate into curds and whey. They discovered that when the whey was drained, the curds could be eaten and could be stored without spoiling quickly. This happened, scientists believe, around 8000 BC, but no one really knows. This new technology would spread around the world, with different cultures doing different things to the curds to improve them. Adding salt will harden the cheese and make it last longer. Different bacteria would improve the taste. Renin, a chemical found in cow stomachs, coagulated milk faster and better. With the modern revolution, the cheese-making process became even more efficient. Now, labs can make rennet, an artificial renin, and the bacteria used in cheese-making. Factories could mix the ingredients in giant vats and roll the cheese into big wheels to ship around the world. Cheese has gone through the complexities of the universe and its own complexities as people improved on cheese over time. Its long history brought us the tasty delight we have today. Cheese making is at its best and it's only getting better. Thank you for watching my little big history on cheese.